So are you able to see this interface now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So welcome back. This is lecture number 5. So I am going to, this is lecture number 5, and in today's lecture basically I am going to talk about the on off control. So till now what we have seen that I have first order system, and I have taken first order system as some class of practical system, and that is underwater vehicle, and we have seen that this is our problem statement, that I have this kind of system. So several times I am repeating the system in order to do completion. So just for the sake of completion, and here I have time, you are already well aware about this. And after that we are designing this u bar, and u bar we are selecting like something uv, and after that I have something like plus v mod v. And previous class we have already able to understand that what is meaning of this part and what is meaning of this part. This is feedback and this is feed forward. And after that, after substituting this control action here, my closed loop system can be represented again like this uv and plus dt, and I am assuming that this is again v belongs to r, means I have first order system. And after that I have already told you the objective. So till now my objective is like this. So I have to make sure that vt tending towards 0 as t tending towards infinity. So this is first class of objective. It might possible that in some classes of problem, particularly whenever we are dealing with robotics, or whenever we are dealing with the problem related to observation or some kind of differentiation, at that time we have a little bit different objective, and we are dealing like this: vt equal to 0 as t greater than equal to sometime t, and t or t0 you can tell, and this t0 is some kind of finite. So I have two classes of objective. So first objective I have to maintain in this presence of this disturbance, and we are also assuming that always I have this kind of assumption. Assumption is like this, that I am assuming that whatever disturbance dt, that I do not know the disturbance, exact value of disturbance, but I am assuming that that is bounded by some kind of maximum number. So that kind of assumption I have. Now in previous class what we have observed, that if I apply PID control action, then, and if this disturbance dt is non-vanishing, so if dt is non-vanishing, then what happens that using PID controller I cannot able to give guarantee that non-vanishing and time varying you can write, because whenever constant disturbance, then at least using PI controller I can give guarantee that PI controller totally able to reject some kind of constant offset or some kind of non-vanishing disturbance which present at the equilibrium point. Equilibrium point means, here again I am going to repeat that equilibrium point, whenever you are calculating equilibrium point, most of time we are removing this disturbance, and after that we are seeing that this, particularly for closed loop system, we try to locate that, means in terms of objective, it means that if you are putting dt equal to 0, then in terms of objective, if I put v dot equal to 0, then is it possible to show v equal to 0 or not? And at that time we are telling that okay, this is our nominal equilibrium point. In presence of disturbance, it is possible to show that that is not the equilibrium point. But at least we are talking about some classes of controller which is insensitive with respect to disturbance. Due to that reason, we are again talking the equilibrium point of the nominal system. Nominal system means some kind of system without any disturbance. So now if I have non-vanishing disturbance and if I will apply PID controller, then I cannot tell that I can achieve this particular things, Vt tending towards 0 as t tending towards infinity. Obviously, I have already told you that at least we can give guarantee that Vt remains bounded by some epsilon, and it is possible to tune the value of epsilon by changing the gains of PID controller. So at least I can achieve this objective for some large time for t greater than equal to some kind of t. It is possible to show. This might be very large and I can achieve this kind of objective. And somehow due to that reason, we are telling that PID controller is robust with respect to several classes of disturbance. But here I have already told you that whenever I am talking about the disturbance, we are also talking about some more things that is called insensitivity. And somehow whenever we are talking about insensitivity, at that time what is our desire that in presence of this disturbance dt, whatever class, that doesn't matter for me, at that particular class, basically here E is nothing but V, because I am not talking about the generalized tracking problem. So I am going to replace this particular E by basically V. So let us rewrite it. So basically now I have this particular quantity as a V, and I am assuming again V belongs to R. So whenever we are talking about insensitivity, so objective is to design UV such that I can able to give guarantee that Vt tending towards 0 as t tending towards infinity or infinite time. And this class of problem we have already learned that this has some kind of a specific name that is called stabilization problem. And now sometimes people are also telling this as a robust stabilization problem. But here this robustness is somehow related to insensitivity. In previous class we have seen that if we have no limitation on control, it means that I have limit tau tending towards 0, and after that if I apply this kind of control action Vt where k greater than 0, then it is possible to show that Vt equal to 0 for all dt, means whatever disturbance you can take, but I can able to give guarantee, this kind of guarantee. And this class of control we have given some name that is called high gain control. So what we have seen that whenever I have certain kind of disturbance may be vanishing or non-vanishing. So if I apply PID controller, simple PID controller, then I can able to talk about the robustness. But if I have no limitation on actuator, then it is possible to design some kind of controller that is called high gain feedback controller. And here information of just present is available. So present information, there is no need to worry about past and future information, but still I am able to completely reject the disturbance. So whenever complete rejection comes into picture, at that time we are talking the insensitivity. But what we have observed that this class of controller is particularly not implementable whenever I have certain specification on the actuators, and most of time that is the case. And due to that reason, now we are going to search some kind of different possibility. So now let us try to comment something more. What we have observed that whenever we are talking about the PID controller, and suppose I am again going to write the complete PID action. So this is 0 to t, and after that I have v tau into d tau, and after that I have kd, and after that I have differential operator. So I have dvt by dt. So here you try to see that this vt signal. So I am assuming that vt is continuous. That is obvious because whatever plant I have considered. So if you see the equation of plant, then obviously equation containing something like this, u bar v mod v plus dt. That is obvious that v is continuous. Otherwise, I cannot able to calculate the v dot. So this is continuous. After that, integral of this is also continuous. And if I design u, and I have already told you that u bar is uv and plus v mod v. So if this disturbance is continuous, then at least I can tell that okay, v dot, whatever v dot, that is also continuous. So at least I can assume that this particular classes of controller is some kind of controller that is continuous control action. So whatever signal that is going to generate, that is continuous. That kind of things we are assuming. Now let us try to come to the high gain controller. So in high gain controller also, that is one class of proportional controller. So this is also continuous controller. So till now we are just talking about some classes of controller which is continuous with respect to some variable. So this is continuous with respect to this information, present information, past information, or future information. Now, since this continuous controller has certain kind of restriction, either in terms of magnitude or either in terms of the disturbance rejection. Due to that reason, now we have to explore something more, and due to that reason, people start searching some kind of discontinuous control action. And if you see the most basic discontinuous control action, then that is nothing but some kind of switch with some kind of gain. So now this is some kind of switch I needed and some kind of gain I needed. So mathematically I can represent switch by different way. But since I am talking about discontinuous control action, and one thing is very much well known, that is called signum function. So basically what people has observed that they have some kind of signal, that is, suppose this axis is Vt and this you can calculate sin Vt. It is possible to show that if Vt that is greater than 0, then I have something like +1. If Vt less than 0, then I have something like Vt less than 0, and at 0 this equal to 0. So I have switch is represented like this: Vt equal to +1 when Vt greater than 0, at 0 this is 0, and -1 if Vt less than 0. So this is the switching action. If you see the mathematics literature, then signum function has defined in different way. Another equivalent way people are defining signum function like this also. They are telling, okay, signum Vt is nothing but Vt by mod Vt. And whenever we are writing certain kind of quantity in denominator, you all are well aware that I have to exclude some point. And what kind of point I have to exclude? That should not equal to 0. And they are assuming that at 0, Vt equal to 0, that is not defined. So I am not caring that what value this particular function takes at Vt equal to 0. And I will tell you the interpretation why this kind of interpretation is useful in control system, that even if I will not define something at Vt equal to 0, then what kind of things basically comes into picture. Now, if you see the third definition, that is little bit different. I will talk about the third definition in the next part of this particular lecture. So let us try to understand that why I am telling this particular signal as a discontinuous. You are already well aware about this, because this is not continuous, at least at Vt equal to 0. Now what we are going to do, we are going to suggest some kind of control action, and I am going to design control action UE, that is again some kind of gain, and after that I have some kind of switch. And since you can see that here, if you see the engineering literature, this kind of phenomena one can also interpret it like on, and people can give name this as a off, and or scale this or shift this function to 0, and after that they will give name as a off. So due to that reason, due to engineering literature, this kind of things comes into picture, that I have two action, on whenever +1, -1 whenever that will appear, then I will tell that as a off. So due to that reason, I am telling that this control structure is nothing but on-off controller. Now try to see the behavior of the system in presence of this controller. So again I am going to recall the same system, U V, here basically not E, here I have V, and after that I have DT. So feed forward control I have already designed, so now I am just concerned with the feedback, and in place of feedback now I am going to substitute the on-off controller. So I am going to substitute this kind of control action, signum Vt and plus dt, and we know the definition that Vt, when Vt is greater than 0, then this is minus k. Whenever Vt is less than 0, then this is plus k. Now let us try to analyze this particular closed loop system. Closed loop system means after substituting this control, now I have some kind of first order differential equation, because Vt again belongs to R, and at this moment you try to see that this particular differential equation has some kind of discontinuous right hand side. Discontinuous right hand side. So whenever you are substituting PID controller or high gain controller, then at that time I have continuous right hand side, but due to on-off control action, now I have discontinuous control. I have discontinuous right hand side of this differential equation. And if you see the literature, so in literature people are talking about again the how to solve the differential equation with discontinuous right hand side, how to talk about the existence of solution, how to talk about uniqueness of solution. So I am not going to touch that kind of things in today's lecture. Just we are going to see the behavior of this closed loop system again using Newton's law. So let us again come to the analysis part. So what I am going to assume first, that dt equal to 0 means no disturbance is present, at that time what is behavior of closed loop system, that I am going to analyze. So now you can see that my system, closed loop system, is nothing but like this, signum Vt. So since Vt belongs to R, so again you can draw one line, same like proportional control action. So if you understand the theory of proportional control, then you are able to understand everything again. So this is real line. This is particularly the origin where V equal to 0. So this represent V equal to 0. Now let us try to see the behavior. Suppose this differential equation has certain kind of initial condition. So I am assuming that when I have started experiment at t equal to t0, then this is V0. So V0 might be positive, might be negative. So for example, just you can assume that this V0 initial condition is positive. So it means that I am assuming that whatever Vt at t equal to t0, that is greater than 0. Now try to see the V dot. So if you try to see the V dot, then you can see that signum V, if I am assuming that Vt greater than 0, then this is positive. If this is positive, then value of this part is nothing but +1 and +1, and if you are assuming k greater than 0, then what happens? You have V dot t, that is less than 0. And this kind of things are true for everything which actually fall in this part of the axis. So in positive part, V is greater than 0 and V dot less than 0, and you know the behavior whenever we have this kind of behavior. So I can give guarantee that if you start anywhere, you start converging towards the Vt equal to 0. Again, now try to see behavior here. If you put initial condition that is less than 0, then your V dot t, for each initial condition you can try to calculate the rate of change. Again, rate of change, so Vt is less than 0, and due to that reason negative and negative, this become positive, and due to that reason what happens? V dot t is greater than 0. Again I have certain kind of converging behavior. So what happens that if you start anywhere, then what is my behavior? Now we are start converging towards this particular point, that is V equal to 0. So we will see the behavior at V equal to 0 in the next part of this particular lecture. But for time being, you can assume that if I define signum Vt equal to 0 as Vt exactly equal to 0, then I can give guarantee that V and V dot equal to 0. So in that way, with that definition, if I have no disturbance, then I can able to tell that, okay, what happens that if you start anywhere, you are going to converge towards this equilibrium point, and for time being I am assuming that Vt equal to 0 also. So Vt equal to 0, then V dot equal to 0, so I am going to remains here if I start exactly at this particular point. Now try to see one more phenomena. If you are writing the differential equation or closed loop differential equation just after putting the proportional control action, if you remember, then at that time I have this kind of expression. Again I am assuming if I have no disturbance. So again t equal to t0, I have certain kind of initial condition, and after that I am assuming that Vt belongs to R, and try to interpret again this, because here I am going to show you that I have little bit different behavior than proportional control action. So actually here if you start here, then obviously Vt greater than 0, and obviously same kind of story if k greater than 0, V dot t is less than 0. But try to see carefully that what additional things happens here, that as we are converging towards the equilibrium point, this is my Vt equal to 0. In case of this closed loop control system, because I have used some kind of proportional controller I have used, then each and every time my rate of change is going to decrease. So rate of change is going to decrease, and due to that reason, as we are moving closer to the equilibrium point from both sides, then my rate is very slow. So my rate is decreasing as we are moving towards the equilibrium point, this particular point. But try to see here, in case of on-off control, you can see that if you select any positive value, at that time my rate remains constant, and that rate is either plus minus k. So rate Vt, that is equal to plus k or minus k if Vt less than 0, Vt greater than 0, and V dot t equal to plus k if Vt less than 0. So you can see that here I have always some kind of constant rate, and I have already told you that whenever you are applying Newton's law, you try to interpret any quantity as some kind of position quantity and their derivative as a velocity kind of quantity. So suppose I am assuming Vt as a position like quantity. So my position with respect to this equilibrium point is Vt0 initially. So this is my position, and V dot is rate of change of position, that is velocity like quantity, that is constant. So now you can select 2 points. So now I am going to draw another diagram such that everything become more clear. Suppose you are here, so this point is A and this point is B, and what I am telling that my velocity or rate of change of convergence, that is constant. So suppose you have finite position, so I am interpreting Vt as a position like quantity, so I have some kind of finite position, and you are moving with some kind of velocity which is also finite. So how much time it will take to move from A to B? Anyone? How much time it will take? Have you able to understand?
AB by V.
Yeah, and that time is finite or not finite?
Finite.
Always finite.
Yes.
So due to that reason, I am telling that whatever convergence time in case of, so I can able to move in finite time. Are you able to argue same kind of things in case of proportional action or not? Try to see here. What happens that
No, it is something like spring.
Yeah.
Kx.
So it is something like a spring, and due to that reason I cannot able to talk about some kind of finite time convergence, and due to that reason we are telling something like asymptotic. So I have some kind of asymptotic convergence. It means that I will converge to the equilibrium point, but it takes very large time. Practically or theoretically infinite time is required to converge here. But here what happens that I can able to give guarantee that position like quantity Vt will converge to this particular point in some kind of finite time, because I am interpreting everything as a position and rate of change of position as a velocity. So I can apply same kind of formula, that velocity is nothing but position by time. So I can able to calculate the time, and that time is finite. And due to that reason, people are telling that if you apply some kind of on-off control to first order system, then you have some more behavior, some more beautiful behavior, and that behavior geometrically you can interpret like a finite time convergence behavior. So due to that reason, at least in that respect, on-off control is more better than simple continuous control. So in case of on-off control, what happens? I I actually able to get additional behavior that is called finite time convergence. Now let us come to again see the behavior in presence of disturbance. So now again my closed loop system, I am going to repeat the same kind of logic, signum Vt, and after that I have dt, and I have already told you that I have this kind of assumption, that is d0. So whenever you are writing this kind of things, then what people are basically writing, it is better to write supremum for all t, dt is less than equal to d0. So whenever you are talking about this kind of supremum, try to understand one more thing, because sometimes whenever you are writing paper, then at that time if you are using this kind of terminology, then at least people able to understand that you are very much concrete. You are telling that okay, for all t, the maximum value of this particular quantity, so even if maximum will not exist for this particular disturbance dt, then also you are able to talk about this particular bond, that is d0. So what happens, suppose you are some real line, so you might have seen that sometime we are using this kind of operator, sometime we are using this kind of operator also, sometime we are using this kind of things. So whenever I have closed bracket, it means that I know that some quantity, suppose if I have defined this set A1, this as a set A2, and this as a set A3. So if I am telling that x1 belongs to A1, then we are able to understand that okay, x1 is somehow either that is 2 or 3 or lie between 2 or 3. So basically this is 2 and 3, and I am able to tell about each and every point, including these two boundary point also, whenever we are writing this kind of interval. So subset of any real number is called interval. So we are denoting interval like this, closed interval like this. But here you can see that I have open interval. It means that this point is not included. Now whenever we have closed interval, at that time at least we are able to understand that what is maxima and what is minima. So minimum value is 2 and maximum value is 3. But are you able to comment here about maxima or not? Suppose I have this kind of A2. Now come to this kind of interval A2. So is it possible to talk about the maximum value of this particular quantity A2 or not? Suppose I have this open bracket here. Now suppose someone is telling okay, maximum value is this 2.999. I will come and I will put 3 more 9. So whenever you have open bracket, you are not able to talk about the maximum value. Similarly, at this side also I have open bracket, so I am not able to talk about the minimum value. And in order to define some kind of things which is basically some kind of quantity, you can interpret something like maxima and minima, we have introduced different notion that is called supremum. Supremum means even if here you can see that 3 is not included inside this set. So if 3 is included, then I can tell that is maxima. But if that 3 is not included, at that time I can talk about this supremum. And what supremum is telling, the all value in this particular interval that is less than this value 3, even if 3 is not included. That is the meaning. Similarly, I am talking about another type of quantity instead of minima, that is called infimum. So most of time whenever I have disturbance, then I cannot able to express disturbance in closed some kind of closed interval, and due to that reason people are using this kind of symbol. So anyone has confusion on this? Anyone? Okay, if you don't have confusion, then meaning of this is that dt is some unknown function and supremum of that is d0. It means that for all t, value is less than d0. Now try to see the situation. I am not here telling that what class of disturbance I have taken. You can take any class of disturbance, vanishing, non-vanishing, constant, that doesn't matter. Now let us try to analyze this particular closed loop system in presence of on-off control action. So if you are going to do that, so at that time, same because I am going to see the behavior using Newton's law. So again, I am going to draw some kind of real line, and again now try to see that my closed loop system is something like k signum v t and plus dt. Now if you start, your initial condition is here, it means that vt is greater than 0. So if vt is greater than 0, then I can give guarantee that this part, switch part, will tells that the value, if k is greater than 0, then your value is negative. Now I have to move in this direction, otherwise I am not able to converge to the equilibrium point. Then what kind of restriction I have to put? Anyone? What kind of restriction if I will put such that I will give guarantee that I will converge towards the equilibrium point? Because my aim
At v equals to 0, k must be 0. So that we can...
No. I am not talking about this point. Just I am telling that suppose you are here, you are not at equilibrium point and you have certain kind of disturbance. You do not know the disturbance, but that is bounded, but you have to move in this direction. So what is condition?
So d should be less than k.
Yeah, that is the condition, because I have to maintain v dot t less than 0 in order to apply Newton's law, that vt should be greater than 0. At that time rate of change should be less than 0, then only I can converge towards the equilibrium point. And in order to maintain this kind of condition, I have to impose one kind of condition, and that condition is like this, that k, that is some kind of positive quantity I have assumed, that is greater than dt, and this kind of things will true for all t. So for all t, if this kind of relation will satisfy, or you can also write like this, because I have already assumed that supremum of this is d0. So if I select k greater than d0, then you can see that if I will start anywhere, I am not talking about what kind of phenomena that is going to happen here. If you start anywhere, always I can able to converge towards the equilibrium point. Now try to see the behavior here. Suppose if you are in this side, then vt is again negative and this quantity is positive. Now this disturbance, try to see the behavior of disturbance. Disturbance may be sometime positive, sometime may be negative. I do not know the behavior of disturbance, just I am knowing the bond. And if this is positive, then that is not a problem, because at that time my velocity is k plus dt, some quantity like this. And if that is negative, then that is like this. Now could you please tell me that how to give guarantee again, such that if vt less than 0, then I can able to tell that v dot greater than 0, because now I have to move in this direction, and in order to move this direction I have to move in positive direction. So rate of change should be positive. So what is condition again? Again you can see that in order to maintain vt as a positive, again condition remains the same. If I am able to give guarantee that for all t, k is greater than dt, then vt, once vt is less than 0, then again I can tell that v dot greater than 0. So have you able to understand the conclusion or not? Conclusion is, if vt dot equal to minus k signum vt plus dt, and if vt belongs to R, and if I will select gain k that is greater than dt, supremum value of greater than dt, then I can always able to give guarantee that I will converge towards the equilibrium point. So this is just about the convergence. Now try to see the rate of convergence. So you can see that this part is constant, and even if this will vary, so you can see that it is possible to show that always rate of change is some kind of constant number. Sometimes that will increase, sometimes that will decrease, but that has no effect with respect to this state. Even if that is a state dependent disturbance here, but I am always telling that this kind of relation will satisfy, and due to that reason it is possible to show that every time rate of change is greater than some particular number, because I am analyzing the worst situation, and what is my worst situation? I have selected gain based on worst situation. So most of time my rate of change is again some kind of constant quantity, some kind of constant, but that is changing with respect to time, means unknown constant changing with respect to time. So again I can tell that in finite time I can convert. Anyone has confusion on this? So first I have seen geometrically that how to talk about the convergence. So I have talked about the convergence. So how basically we have talked about the convergence? We are telling, okay, if k is greater than the supremum value of this, then I can tell that v basically tending towards the 0. Now after convergence I have to see the rate of convergence. How basically rate of convergence comes into picture, because I have to talk about two things, and that is called rate of convergence. And here you can see that rate of convergence is again not asymptotic. Some kind of, because due to supremum, due to this finite gain, again this is some kind of finite time convergence. Due to that reason, this kind of convergence is called rated convergence. So I have convergence with certain kind of rate. Now rate is varying, rate is not constant with because of disturbance, and due to that reason people has coined some new name that is called rated convergence. And another convergence we have already seen, that is unrated convergence or asymptotic convergence. Anyone has confusion on this? So let us come to the very much conclusion of on-off control, because that is very important. So what we are telling, that if I have any first order differential equation, because whatever conclusion we are drawing here, that is just we are drawing for some first order differential equation. So we are telling, if I have some kind of first order differential equation, and if I substitute some kind of on-off control, and if disturbance is bounded, this supremum of dt over all t, if this is d0, and if I select k greater than d0, then I can give guarantee that I have some kind of rated convergence. Rated convergence means Vt tending towards 0 as t is greater than some finite value t, and at least geometrically I cannot calculate t, but I have to search some kind of way to calculate this t, but at least geometrically I can tell that this kind of things happens, that there exists certain kind of finite time when Vt is tending towards 0. Now let us try to come to the another important point. We have analyzed only on left hand side of the equilibrium point and right hand side of equilibrium point, but we haven't analyzed the behavior at equilibrium point. Now if you define Vt equal to 0, then what happens? If Vt equal to 0, then k multiplied by 0, that is 0. And what happens that you are not able to give guarantee that at equilibrium point I am able to reject the disturbance. So, but what happens if you just move epsilon direct distance in this this or minus epsilon in this, then what happens? Suddenly minus k and plus k comes into picture. So they will force you again to come to the equilibrium point. So even if you assume Vt equal to 0, it is possible to show that you are not able to move from the equilibrium point. So due to this reason, if you see the literature, then we have two different classes of people. One class of people are telling that, okay, for practical implementation point of view, I can assume Vt equal to 0 means signum Vt equal to 0 at Vt equal to 0. But if you are substituting this kind of condition, then we have certain kind of problem. I will discuss that problem. Now, after that, some class of people is telling, okay, I will not take Vt equal to 0, signum V equal to 0. Means Vt equal to 0, I don't care that what is definition of this. Because if I just know the definition in neighborhood, then it is possible to show that I will maintain the equilibrium point. And due to that reason, if you see the literature, then some class of people is not defining any value at Vt equal to 0. They are telling that at Vt equal to 0, it is undefined. So I have again two different classes of people. So I am going to write that. So one class of people is defining signum function, signum Vt, like this. This is plus 1 if Vt greater than 0, this equal to 0 if Vt equal to 0, and minus 1 if Vt less than 0. But another class of people is telling like this. I have, whenever signum V, I have this kind of definition, mod Vt, when Vt not equal to 0, and at Vt equal to 0, this is undefined. I don't care at Vt equal to 0, what is the situation. Now what happens that these two classes of things are accepted in literature. So all practical implementation, those who are doing implementation particularly from power electronics side or power system side, so they are assuming that Vt equal to 0. But whenever you are talking about mathematics, whenever we are developing something, so this is area of applied mathematics. So you have to tell that in which sense you are solving this differential equation. And at that time, some problem comes into picture. And due to that reason, people has defined some another definition. And basically in this course, since most of time I am going to follow the mathematical regression or mathematical regressness, and due to that reason I am going to use this kind of definition, signum Vt. So Vt greater than 0, this is plus 1, Vt less than 0, this is minus 1, but Vt equal to 0, I have something lie between minus 1 to 1. So what we are telling that now my definition is like this. Here everything is well defined, because in mathematics we are not telling that something is not defined. We are telling that everything is well defined here. And here what happens that I have for Vt greater than 0 I have plus 1, and Vt less than 0, that is minus 1, and at Vt equal to 0 I have this signum V can take any value between minus 1 to 1, and this is called set valued definition of signum function. And now I will give you the physical interpretation that why this definition is more realistic or more close to the Newton's phenomena. So let us again try to come to the same system. So basically what I am telling now, that okay, if you see the structure, then I have no confusion if I am on this side or this side. But if I am very close to this, then what happens? I have one kind of force, means V dot is greater than 0 in this side, and V dot, sorry, I have written wrong symbol. So basically V dot less than 0 in this side and V dot greater than 0 in this side. And due to that reason, what happens, that if you start at equilibrium point in presence of disturbance, means I am assuming that I have this kind of action V plus dt. So you can see that what I am telling, that if V equal to 0, so V equal to 0 at that time, even if this particular quantity, you try to see that if you are assuming 0, then V dot rate of change of velocity is governed by the disturbance. But what we have observed, that if you are at equilibrium point, you are unable to move. Why you are unable to move? Because in both sides I have two kind of opposing force. So it means that there exists certain kind of phenomena which force us not to move from V equal to 0. And how to interpret that? So if you see the Newton's calculus, then we have two different concepts. That is concept of average velocity and instantaneous velocity. So I have average velocity, or I have concept of instantaneous velocity. So let us try to understand this phenomena in terms of average velocity and instantaneous velocity. So before going to explain this phenomena, I am going to open one slide. Then I think that things become more clear to you. So here you try to see that, is this slide is visible to everyone?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
in
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
last 1 hour, basically I am explaining this only. So what I am telling, that I have first order system, I have defined signum V like this. I will tell you why I have defined like this, and I have this kind of phenomena. If you see this simulation here, in place of x, please just assume that x is nothing but V. You can see that if you take your initial condition V equal to 0 equal to 1, then in finite time I can converge here. And once you are at equilibrium point, then V equal to 0 is switching between minus k to plus k, because sometime due to inertia you are not able to stop at this particular point. So how to maintain this particular point? Your controller should switch very fastly, and due to that reason you can see that if I select k equal to 1, then this is switching from minus 1 to plus 1. So this below is minus 1 and upper is plus 1. So due to this kind of switching, it is possible to show that if you start from here, then you are not going to move. It means that if you start from somewhere, then you are not able to move, means somehow your velocity is 0. Now how to identify which velocity is 0? Because again you can see that V dot instantaneous velocity is always here. Because why I am telling instantaneous velocity, again you can assume V as a position kind of quantity and V dot as a velocity kind of quantity. And this particular thing, V dot, we are basically plotted here, because control is nothing but somehow minus k signum V. And what we have observed, that is not 0 at V equal to 0. That is basically switching. But I am still on a static point 0. So why this kind of phenomena is there? So if you see carefully, then you can see that if you take average between any two time, then average is always 0, because either +1 and -1, so average of this is 0. It means that average velocity equal to 0, but instantaneous velocity is non-zero, and instantaneous velocity is responsible to maintain this equilibrium point. So my instantaneous velocity is non-zero, and how to basically claim that instantaneous velocity is non-zero, and due to that reason people has substituted this kind of definition v equal to 0. Another supporting fact, it is possible to show that if you are at Vt equal to 0, then I can able to estimate this particular disturbance dt also. So after that, what people has argued that since by Newton's phenomena average velocity is 0, so if you pass this k signum v with some kind of low pass filter, then it is possible to show that you are able to estimate this kind of dt. So again I will come to the writing part, and then things become more clear. So perhaps you might have understood the situation. What I am telling that since I have at this equilibrium point, but what happens that my instantaneous velocity, that is non-zero, and average is 0. Why average is 0? Because we are not going to move from this point. So now if average velocity is 0, then is it possible to write like this or not? I am going to suggest one equation, and then perhaps you are able to understand that I can able to write like that v dot and their average equal to 0. Now since average value of this equal to 0, it means that I can able to also tell that k signum Vt plus with negative sign dt and their average, I am denoting average like this, equal to 0 at Vt equal to 0, because we are not moving. So whenever we are exactly at Vt equal to 0, then average is 0, because instantaneous is non-zero. So now if average is 0, so I can also tell that dt is nothing but the average value of minus k plus k signum Vt. Now question is that how to calculate the average value. So if we are able to calculate the average value, then we are also able to identify the disturbance, whatever kind of disturbance I can able to estimate. And it is possible to show that most of time whatever physical system we are considering, that represents some kind of low pass filter. So if you pass this average value with some kind of low pass filter, and if you see the circuit of low pass filter, so it is pretty easy to build low pass filter. What you can do, you can take one resistor and one capacitor. There are several ways, and here each element is passive element. So what you can do, you can put input, so you can put this average value here as an input, and after that whatever output we will get, you are able to get, that is dt. So it means that whenever we are at equilibrium point, you can see that in other way, from this equation I can also tell that v dot ue equal to dt. So basically if you see carefully that average value is 0, so in order to maintain v equal to 0, some control that is exactly equal to negative of disturbance that is acting, and that kind of control is called equivalent control. Why that is called equivalent control? Because in order to understand this control, we are passing through some kind of low pass filter, because instantaneous velocity is non-zero, so I cannot put v dot exactly equal to 0, but I can able to put average velocity equal to 0, and due to that reason we are calculating the average. And now let us come to the one MATLAB simulation, that whenever you have this kind of phenomena, then how to basically one can simulate it. So let us open this. So in today's lecture I am going to just talk that how to simulate something in the Simulink. So is this interface is visible to everyone? Are you able to?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So let us try to see that I have taken first order system. So whenever you are taking some kind of first order system, then you are representing that as a first order integrator. Anyone has confusion on this? Now you can see that left hand side of this, if you put v dot, then I will get v here, and after that what I am telling that I have to pass that kind of quantity vt with signum function. So due to that reason I have written signum here, and after that I have to design some kind of gain, and gain should be greater than equal to the value of disturbance, and due to that reason I have selected some gain. For time being I have selected gain equal to -1, and in order to visualize the response of control, I have put this kind of a scope. In order to visualize the VT behavior, I have put this kind of a scope, and after that this is the disturbance. I am assuming that this disturbance is sinusoidal disturbance, and if you see this block, you can see that disturbance is amplitude multiplied by sine, frequency multiplied by t, phase plus bias. If you see this block carefully, then you can able to tune the amplitude, biasing, frequency, phase, or sampling time. So what I am doing here, I have selected amplitude equal to 0.5 and frequency equal to 1, and due to that reason you can see that it means that I am going to apply half sine t kind of disturbance to this particular system. For simulation you have to apply some kind of certain disturbance. But if you are working with some kind of practical system, at that time this kind of thing is not required. Now you try to see that here this block is responsible for summing those two, because if you see the right hand side of closed loop of on-off controller, then I have two terms. First term is disturbance and second term is control, and here I have already put gain equal to negative. Due to that reason I have put positive sign here. But suppose if you put gain that is equal to negative, then you have to put negative sign here. So in this way you are able to tune this block, and after that I am going to simulate this. So I am going to do simulation, and here you can see that you can specify simulation time in this particular Simulink. So I have taken 50 seconds of simulation time. You can take anything. Now let us first try to see the behavior of this particular state. So what I am telling that, okay, I have to zoom out. Okay, so you can see that here I have one, and in finite time I can converge here. So same kind of behavior I have. Now try to see the behavior of the control action. You can see here, due to on-off action, I have this whole things become, and what is color of this? Or perhaps it is yellow color or green color. Actually I am not able to identify the color, due to that reason I have asked. Okay,
So yellow.
this is yellow. So after some time you can see that, but it is switching from +1 to -1, you can see. So same kind of graph, control action comes into picture. After that, if you pass it to low pass filter, then here I have certain kind of actually some limitation I have. You can see that low pass filter one can realize using some kind of transfer function with first order. And if you see whatever circuit I have drawn, that is RC circuit. So that is first order circuit. Anyone has confusion on that? You can just write the differential equation, that is first order differential equation, and after that you can do the Laplace transformation. After that you are able to get this kind of things. So here this is 0.1, that is actually I will interpret in the latter part. First you can see that what kind of things basically comes into picture. So you can see that exactly after finite time, once a state will converge to 0, I am also able to estimate the value of disturbance, what kind of disturbance is basically acting on this system. So in this way you are able to simulate. So anyone has confusion on this simulation? So what is crucial point? Only crucial point you can see here, that whatever value of gain you have to put, that is greater than the value of disturbance, magnitude of disturbance. And magnitude of disturbance here, that is half, and due to that reason I have selected -1. And after that, in this particular block, you can see that I have to select some parameter, and that is called, you can also tell that low pass filter time constant. And if their time constant is very, very small, then exactly you are able to recover the value of disturbance. So now let us come to again this slide. So what basically sliding mode control are doing, they are completely able to reject the disturbance, and at the same time they are also telling that what kind of disturbance is basically hitting towards your system. And due to that reason, this property is called disturbance estimation property. So using sliding mode, you are not only able to reject the disturbance, some class of disturbance completely, but also you are able to reconstruct the value of disturbance. Anyone has confusion on this? So have you understood till now? Have you able to understand that how basically I have talked about the average velocity and instantaneous velocity, and what is the relation of that in order to estimate the disturbance? Anyone has confusion on that?
No, sir.
And if you see the literature, same kind of things people are telling, that method of regularization and after that Filipov solution. So it is very sometimes it is difficult to understand, but using Newton's law you are easily able to understand. And I think that Newton's are very much smart. He is able to understand the significance of average kind of things and instantaneous kind of things, and due to that reason you can see that everywhere they have talked about the instantaneous and instantaneous displacement, or instantaneous distance means some kind of displacement, and after that they are also talking about distance. Similarly, they are talking about a speed or velocity. So a speed is nothing but some kind of average velocity, and instantaneous velocity is velocity, like that. So using that kind of concept, I can able to understand the on-off control. So what is one of the most important conclusion here, that now I have to understand, I have to just remember one equation, and using that equation I have to play now. So I have to just remember that, okay, you can now take any quantity, position like quantity, and what you can do, whatever quantity here you can put inside this signum function, and you can take any class of disturbance, and suppose this disturbance is bounded by d0, sometime equality sign also people are putting, and if you are able to maintain this kind of condition, then it is possible to show that xt equal to 0 for all t greater than equal to t, and this t is some kind of finite time. Here you have to notice one more thing, that here xt, because whatever phenomena I have till now, I am just talking that xt belongs to R. So if I have one dimensional or first order some kind of differential equation with discontinuous right hand side, and if I design gain k greater than dt, it is possible to show that I can maintain xt equal to 0 in finite time. I can also tell that value of this dt is approximation, because I have to tune the value of constant of the filter. Sometime some particular problem, sometime it is difficult. So due to that reason, people are not writing exact equality sign. They are telling average. Whenever you are writing average, at that time you are putting this kind of sign. This is called the approximation, and that is nothing but k signum s. And physically, how to solve it? You can pass this particular signal with some kind of low pass filter. And how to design low pass filter for physical system? You can put any kind of either passive circuit or active circuit. So in passive circuit, you have to put one resistor and one capacitor, and you have to give input with respect to these two terminal, and that is nothing but k signum xt. And after that, what happens here? Whatever things you are getting, that is the disturbance, value of disturbance. So output we are getting with respect to this. If you want to use some kind of active low pass filter, at that time again some kind of another kind of circuit comes into picture, but that is not basically part of the discussion of today's lecture. At that time you can involve operational amplifier. So those who are working with implementation, for those kind of people, this is very much important. Now quickly I am going to conclude this lecture. So before concluding this lecture, it is possible to show that low pass filter one can represent using this kind of equation. And here, if tau you can select very, very small, then value of z equal to u equivalent. Same kind of things I have basically shown in that particular figure. So what is connection? Because I have detained the transfer function of low pass filter 1 by, if you see the simulation block, then things become little more clear. You can see that I have 1 by s, 0.s plus 1. This is transfer function, means output by input. So if you again take inverse Laplace transform, then again this particular differential equation comes into picture. Now somehow you have to give guarantee that how to calculate u. Due to that reason, I have to tune this parameter tau, that is very, very small. Then only I can tell that z equal to u equivalent. And due to that reason, whenever you are tuning the low pass filter, at that time you have to select value of or time constant of low pass filter that is as small as possible. So that is the physical interpretation of the equivalent control, or you can also interpret that as average velocity I have told. So this is the physical interpretation. So with this remark, I am going to end the today's lecture. So before ending the today's lecture, I am going to open this session for the discussion or any kind of question answer. So please ask question if you have any confusion. So are you able to understand the idea of on-off control or not?
Yes, sir.
Next class,
Yes,
I will tell you that why basically again people has given some kind of a specific name, that is sliding mode controller, because till now you are not able to picture any kind of sliding. You have just observed that if I have some kind of system and if I apply some kind of on-off control, then what is my final behavior? Okay. Now if you go to the practical problems, so I have several kind of practical problem. So some kind of practical problem, and that kind of practical problem actually deals like this. Sometimes what happens that in practical system, I have to actually estimate the fault. Particularly that class of problem is pretty important, those who are working on power system. So they have to identify the fault, and you are able to understand that if I apply some kind of sliding mode control, and if I pass that signal, so once trajectory will converge to the equilibrium point, then I can able to estimate the disturbance. So you are also able to design some kind of fault detection mechanism using based on sliding mode control. So power, because whenever you are seeing some kind of device, most of time people are try to engage some kind of circuit which can estimate the fault. So using sliding mode control, you are also able to do that. Obviously, you are able to design the control also. So in next class, I will tell you that how basically one can use this particular equation. So in today's lecture, I have told you that this is very fundamental equation. So I have differential equation, closed loop differential equation now, and if I just tune k greater than d0, then I can give guarantee that xt equal to 0 for all time, and I can also able to estimate the disturbance. And I have also talked about the simulation, means how to simulate, and using Simulink, how basically I can able to estimate the value of disturbance. So if you don't have any question, then I am going to close the today's lecture.
So means I'm just trying to conclude that at the Vt equals to 0, as it is bounded between -1 and 1, it can be any value between -1 to 1. So by averaging that part, we are getting that at Vt equals to 0, it must be equals to 0. So we are doing average of minus k signum Vt plus dt equals to 0, and from there we are getting that dt equals to average of k signum Vt, which is passed to the low pass filter, and we are getting the disturbance ultimately.
So averaging of disturbance, for
Yes.
average purpose, I have passed it through any low pass filter, because most of time our plant and whatever disturbance that is hitting to my system, that will satisfy the property of means some kind of low pass, means that kind of low frequency signal you can take.
Yes, sir.
That reason we are passing through low pass filter.
Yes, sir. Means -1 to +1, any value can be in between those two,
Yeah.
but the average of the whole value will be 0. That is the fundamental.
That is the fundamental.
Okay, sir.
Otherwise, I cannot able to maintain x equal to 0, na?
Yes, sir.
Since we are maintaining x equal to 0 from simulation, also that is evident. You can see from this simulation, because I am maintaining everywhere. So it means that some kind of phenomena that comes into picture, and that is supported by Newton's first law or second law, you can tell that since we are not moving, it means that some kind of velocity. Now, what is interpretation of that velocity? That is average velocity. Otherwise, whatever Newton's first law, that is not applicable.
Means the instantaneous velocity may be any, but the average velocity is 0 for stability. At that point, for stability purpose, Vt must be 0. Actually,
yeah.
Yes, sir. Okay.
So now I am going to close this session. So thank you very much. Again.
Thank you, sir.
Again, we will discuss on the next class, and next time I will again talk about some simulation. So every class I am trying to talk about some relevant simulation. In this way, you are also able to know that how whenever I have some system, then how to do simulation in manual.
Hello, sir.
Anyone? So you have
Sir, just 2 minutes. Sir, is it because of the discontinuity? I mean, we have written that V dot is equal to minus KV, and for that we are not able to converge in finite time. So next, what we did is we took that signum V. So is it because of the fact that just signum V is constant, or is it because of the fact of discontinuity we are getting the advantage?
Due to discontinuity of k signum x. So actually k signum x has some kind of constant gain. So due to that, due to discontinuity, we are not getting this behavior. Due to some kind of constant gain, we are getting this kind of behavior, finite time of convergence.
Because due to constant thing.
So first you can remove the disturbance and then try to think. Then things become more clear. because in presence
Yes.
of disturbance, now just you can do coordinate transformation and after that interpret same kind of things. So what I am telling that due to that reason, you can see that last sentence I have written finite time convergence because rate of change is constant. It means
Okay,
that
sir.
I am assuming that dt is 0. At that time, v is some kind of positive or negative quantity and v dot that is plus minus k. Plus minus k
Yes,
is based on their position, and after that we are telling that I am able to maintain at that particular point.
sir. Yes, sir. Sir, what if we if we don't want the discontinuity and we define a like control where it is continuous, just I mean we can think of ball of radius around that equilibrium point.
Then I will talk that kind of things in next class. It is possible to show that even if in transform coordinate frame there is no discontinuity, but in some coordinate frame there exists certain kind of discontinuity. So
Okay,
what I have found that most of time it is possible to show. I will share that kind of observation in next class.
okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, so today I'm going to end this class because I have some more job to do. Okay, and after that we will discuss. If you have any confusion, then please collect all confusion, and after that we will discuss in the when I will start the class, I will discuss it, and after that we will proceed towards the next part. Okay, so thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.